Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Radio W.O.R.K.S World, wherever you are in the world. My name is Dr. Gill Barham, and I am the Miracle Molecule host for Radio W.O.R.K.S World. And today, I'm having my first light-hearted conversation with the amazing Phil Britten. Hello.
Hello, people. How are you?
So Phil is joining us from Australia, and it's Philip, whereabouts in Australia are you?
I'm in Perth, Western Australia. So in actual fact, we are the most isolated city in the world.
Oh, just say all that again because you're freezing.
I'm just saying that we are the most isolated city in the world in Perth, Western Australia.
Okay, I missed that. Can you just say that again? Because you froze.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm from Perth, Western Australia, which is actually the most isolated city in the world.
Oh, is it? I've never been to Australia, so it's something that I really need to do, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a must see.
Okay, so now, Phil, before we get started on my light-hearted conversation, you don't know who you are. So would you mind introducing yourself and telling everybody what you're passionate about, please, and what you do?
Sure. My name's Phil Britten, and I'm an Australian entrepreneur, author, and international speaker. I have 7 businesses, 3 kids, and a beautiful wife. And, you know, life is definitely an adventure, both on the books and off the books as well. I'm most passionate about helping people just to be the best that they can be, turn their IP, their work experience, their knowledge, their life experience, all that type of stuff, and package that into online products, programs, and online courses so they can sell that all over the world.
Okay, so your connection is really bad, in and out. So I'm hoping that everybody got that because I only got the end of it. It may be worth you going out and coming back in again, Phil, just so.
All right, I might.
Just see if we can get it slightly better. I don't want to miss this.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to give it a go? We'll try again.
Not. Oh, here we go. We're back in the room.
Oh, I've got you there.
You got me. Hooray!
Let's hope that's better.
Let's hope that's better. Absolutely. All the world must be on the internet in Australia at 8 o'clock in the evening.
We don't have great internet over here. That's one thing we do lack.
Yeah. Okay, that's much better. So, look, rather than try and do anything else, please share with us, just we'll start again virtually. If you could share with everybody what you do and what you're passionate about, that would be great.
Sure. My name is Phil Britten, and I'm an entrepreneur, author, and international speaker. I have 7 businesses and 3 children. So life is an adventure. An amazing wife who helps me do what I do in my business and in life as well. What I'm most passionate about really is sharing my knowledge, sharing my expertise in building businesses. But most importantly, my passion right now, though, like right this second, is helping successful business owners, entrepreneurs, take their IP, their life stories, their experience, and package it into products, programs, and online courses so they can sell that all over the world and make extra revenue.
Perfect. I think you and I need to talk. Okay, brilliant. Now, Phil doesn't actually know what we're going to be talking about here, do you, Phil?
Absolutely
no,
not.
He has no idea. Because most of the entrepreneurs that I talk to and business owners that I talk to, they're used to talking about their businesses when they come on to radio shows and so on. But actually, this show is very different in that I'm not going to let you talk about business anymore,
Cool.
apart from at the end where I am
Yep.
going to do that. But this show is really just to talk about you.
Very, very cool.
Now, I don't know, Phil, how much time you've spent in the UK, but we have a BBC Radio 4 over here, which is, one of our BBC radios. And it has the longest running show on it called Desert Island Discs. I don't know if you've ever heard of that show.
No.
Okay. So it's been running for a gazillion years. And basically, on a Sunday morning, they interview a person, and they could be from entertainment, from sport, from science, any aspect of life, basically. And there's a standard format that they use where they basically allow their guests to choose 8 records, and they get to choose a couple of books, and they're sent off to a desert island. And throughout the show, they basically weave in and out their life story. And what I love about the show, it's one of my favorite shows, is because even if you've got a preconceived idea about what that person is like, when you listen to their episode of Desert Island Discs, you just get more of a glimpse of what the real person is like and why they're like they are and why they present themselves perhaps in the way that they do. But you get a little bit of an insight into the real person.
Very, very cool.
So it is cool. And what I wanted to do is to create a similar platform where we could just have a little bit of a look, a glimpse into certain parts of my guests' kind of background and key points in their lives.
I'm a little bit nervous, but excited as well.
Everybody gets asked the same questions, okay? So that's really interesting too, because we've then got a compare and contrast. And just to tell you as well that all of the interviews are going to be transcribed into a book called Your Heart Matters: Light-hearted Conversations with People of Significance. And you are a person of significance. And that's going around the world in 80 days next year, the Jules Verne tour next year, all around the world, starting in October the 7th, 2nd in London and ending in London, and going to places like Shanghai, Hong Kong, San Francisco, Bordeaux in France, all these various different places. And the book's going to travel the world.
Awesome. I love it.
So the principal thing that we need to do is to get going with the call. Are you ready?
Absolutely ready.
Okay. So I have a number of kind of questions, but I also have your first scenario. So I'd like, if you can, imagine that you're in a nice hotel somewhere, I don't know, wherever you like, and you've arrived in the lobby of the hotel. You're going to the top floor for a very nice lunch because you are hungry. And you get into the lift or the elevator. What do you call them in Australia? Are they lifts?
Yeah,
elevators?
elevator, lift, yep, all good.
Yeah, whichever. You get into the elevator on the bottom floor. One other person gets in the elevator with you. But as you go up to the top floor, the elevator breaks down. Now, bit of bad news. The engineers ring you and say, sorry about this. You're going to be in there for 2 or 3 hours. That's the bad news. But the good news is that you have windows, so you're not going to get claustrophobic. And the other bit of good news is that you get to choose who that other person is that you got in the lift with. So if anybody in the world, dead or alive, that you would like to spend 2 or 3 hours with, maybe to ask all the questions that you've ever wanted to know, just to have that person to yourself, who would that person be?
Oh, I would throw two people in the air, but I would definitely have to say one of my idols on the big screen is Will Ferrell.
Ah,
And
okay.
I would love to be stuck. I would love to be stuck in an elevator with that guy, because you know what, 2 hours would pass like that.
He's really funny, isn't he?
He is a comedian. He is hilarious. He's one of my. I can watch his movies over and over again.
And is there anything specific that you would like to ask him, or would you just literally just share a cracking time with him?
Yeah, look, I just think that you know, I've seen his movies. I've seen him do his autobiography type shows as well, and he's got an amazing story. But yeah, I think just chewing the fat with someone who's that funny and would see even in that moment of sort of, I guess, unclarity, you know, being unclear of what's going to happen, if it's bad or good, he would see the lightheartedness of that, and that's sort of my personality too. Like I like to, you know, find a situation that is perceived as bad and try and make something good out of it as well. And I think that would just suit my personality to a T.
Okay, cool. And all right, so on the basis that your mate Will is hungry as well, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to magic you up in this lift a beautiful table with lovely crockery and cutlery and a nice tablecloth and chairs and all the rest of it. And I'm going to magic you up, like Harry Potter, your favourite meal that you would like to share with Will Ferrell. So what would it be? What would you eat and what would you drink?
Well, I'd definitely have to have some sort of like a Scotch fillet, you know, meat. I'm a meat and potatoes type of guy, so something pretty simple. But yeah, meat, potatoes, corn, all the veggies, a nice glass of red wine, and just some nice light music in the background would be fantastic.
Okay, sounds brilliant. I think I might join you. Okay, brilliant. Thanks for sharing that with us. All right, now what I'd like to do is I'd like to take you back to the 18-year-old Phil. So would you share with us, please, what you were doing at 18, what was happening for you then? What was your life like at 18?
I was pretty carefree. I was living in a house with four other men, all school friends, and we were playing Australian rules football. We were going out partying, we were having fun. I was surfing, fishing, camping, very sort of active outdoor lifestyle, but definitely having fun out there with the lads. And, you know, life really, I didn't really have a direction. I just knew in the moment that I was just loving every moment of life. So, yeah, it was very carefree. Like I said, all the sort of outdoor sports you could think of, that's sort of what Australia has to offer, being such a sunshine country. So,
were you in Western Australia then?
Yes, yeah, Western Australia. And I was playing Australian rules football at quite a high level.
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. And what were you listening to at the time? What was the music of that era for you?
Oh, you know, back then it would have been Metallica and AC/DC or all those type of sort of rock bands was my thing.
Yeah, cool. All right, brilliant. Okay, thank you. Right, now what I'd like to do is I'd like to take you to wherever I take everybody else, which is to 35.
Oh.
So now this is going to be quite an amazing time because I'm suspecting that there's going to be a lot that will have influenced your life by the time you get to 35.
Absolutely.
So if you wouldn't mind sharing with us what had happened to you and what was happening to you at 35, where you were, what was going on.
35. So that's only 2 years ago. So that's not too bad to recall back on. But yeah, I was. I'm at 35. I'm owner of several businesses. Me and my business partner own one of the world's most successful martial arts organisations. I'm speaking all over the world, sharing my knowledge, my expertise, also my story of overcoming a terrorist attack back when I was 22 years of age. And I have three amazing children, and starting really, and really, I guess at that point, it's almost like feeling like that feeling of I've made it, this type of thing. You know, like I've worked hard so long. I've tripped over, I've failed, I've succeeded, I've climbed the mountain, the ups and downs, and I'm sort of like, at 35, I feel like I've nailed it.
It's really interesting, Phil, because of all the people, and I've interviewed about 40 people now, for the majority of those people, in whatever sense, 35 seems to be a really pivotal time in their life. Either because they feel like you have, that they've kind of reached a plateau, or there's a major change, or it's about the way that they feel about themselves, or whatever it might be. And I don't really know where I picked 35 out from, because I could have chosen any age. But actually, it's really interesting how 35, for the majority of people that I've interviewed, has this total significance for them. Because I don't want to miss this, would you share with us just a little bit about your story? Because you mentioned about the terrorist attack, which is in Bali. Just tell us a little bit about how that got you from the 18-year-old carefree Phil, playing football and, all the rest of it, and having fun with his mates, to then developing into this international, global speaker and businessman. How did that affect you?
Well, like as I said, at 18 and nudging towards 22, I was on the verge of hitting a professional level of Australian rules football. And that was all I was really good at, like I was not educated. I was not book smart. I was classed from my teachers as someone who would probably not very successful in life unless I made it in sport. So that's all I just knew. And at age 22, I went on an end of season football trip with my buddies. And within 6 hours of landing in Bali, we were blowing up in the terrorist attack, where I lost 7 of my friends. There was 202 people in total killed. I got burnt to 60% of my body. My front teeth were blown out, and life as I knew it had completely changed. It was, the snow dome was upside down. And, I really had no clue. Like many times in the recovery over the first couple of years, I'll be frank with you, I wanted to end my life because I didn't have a life. Somewhere in there, I gained some clarity. I gained some guidance and realizations of why I survived. And I think that's where my mindset of seeing the positives in bad situations has come about. So I just sort of got to that point, well, you know what? You've only lived one life, and you've got one opportunity to do what you want, rather than working for the man and doing what maybe your parents thought or what society wanted you to do. And I don't know, growing up, I always wanted to do karate. I watched The Karate Kid and all that type of stuff. And I was a student of martial arts, but it wasn't until surviving that I realized I pulled on some martial arts breathing techniques and some of the mental philosophies through martial arts. And I realized, that actually was what helped me survive. So just one thing fell into another, and I opened up, started training in martial arts again, teaching, bought a school, went from 1 school to 3 schools. Now we have one of the largest martial arts schools in the whole world. So that was sort of my birth in business. And then from there, branched out. I realized, it doesn't matter whether you're doing martial arts, online business, anything. Business is business. So I just started taking that knowledge and branching out and helping develop my own businesses and other people's businesses as well. And then obviously speaking about it. So tying in the motivational, inspirational Phil Britten and then the actual strategies of Phil Britten, combine it together, and that's what's taking me global at the moment.
Yeah, it's really, really, really powerful. And it's interesting what you say about, the discipline of sport. I have 3 children, they're all in their 20s. And my youngest 2 got involved in sport. The oldest one didn't. My son is a rugby player, and my daughter used to do this mad thing called equestrian vaulting, which is basically gymnastics on the back of a cantering horse. Who knew?
Right.
But particularly for her, it was like being a gymnast, and because she vaulted for Great Britain. I went all over around the world with her, and it's really interesting to see the discipline of having a sport, and particularly competing in a sport at a very high level, but even not at a high level. I think it's really valuable, don't you? Do you agree to give our kids that opportunity?
Absolutely. And, Australia is known for its sport, whether it's football, rugby, cricket, swimming, all that type of stuff. And I think that plays a big part. It's the mental toughness. It's the strength mentally and emotionally, because anyone can get physically strength, but the mental strengthness and the emotional strengthness comes from succeeding, from failing, from achieving and pushing yourself to the nth degree to be better. And if you keep doing that in a sports sense, well, you translate that into life, well, you know, you're going to set yourself up for success.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's that inner reserve rather than, because my question as you were talking was, well, where did you get that inspiration from? Was it reading a book? Was it from somebody that was working with you? Where, you know, what changed you from saying I want to take my life to actually, well, no, here we go. And it's fascinating to hear that actually that came from within, from, you know, past experiences. Really interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Like I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be an international speaker. I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd have 7 businesses. Never in my wildest dreams think I would be who I am today. But what made me who I am today is all the people around me, all the lessons, all the failures, all those sort of things. And, you know, and I think we just got to understand that everything happens for a reason. You just have to find what that reason is.
Agree. It's you know,
You're breaking up,
as you say, at the end of it. And I'm breaking up now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me
that's
now?
better. It's caught up, I think.
Is that better? Yeah, in and out. I was just agreeing with you basically that it's, you know, journey of whatever it is that you end up doing, what you discover, it's your own inner journey that is the most important thing, really, because that is the thing that then transfers to be able to help you to be the good example or whatever.
Agreed.
So brilliant, thank you very much. Okay, now I have some quick fire questions. Okay. Don't know how quick they're going to be if our internet is slow, but I just want you to choose. So are you a TV or a radio boy?
Podcast.
Oh, you like podcasts?
Yeah.
I'm a bit obsessed with podcasts. I have them on my phone, and The Urban Monk is one of my favourite podcasts. Who do you listen to?
The Ask Phil Britten show. my own one.
Oh, I've lost you.
Have you got me there?
Who do you listen to? Yeah, I have got you back now.
I just having a little tongue in cheek. I said the Ask Phil Britten show, which is my podcast, but anything like.
But you listen to other people's podcasts.
Yeah, audio books. Right now, I'm listening to some stuff from Daniel Priestley, oversubscribed. Think and Grow Rich, Entrepreneur on Fire. You know, anything that's motivating and has strategies within it.
I lost you again. Did you say Think and Grow Rich?
That's correct, yeah.
Oh, the internet. Are you back, Phil?
I'm here. I can hear you, but you're frozen.
Things were going just too well. Positive vibes for the internet.
There we go.
Here we go.
Okay.
Hello.
Yep.
Here we go.
Hello.
I sent you positive vibes for your internet to be better. Okay, so right. So, are you a fiction or non-fiction boy?
Fiction.
Are you the oldest, middle, or youngest child?
I am middle.
Oh, don't get many of those. And at school, say in secondary school,
Well, you're broken up there. Send those positive vibes again. Let's see if we
Were you under the radar?
Just repeat that again.
Got me now?
Yep.
Got me.
Repeat that again.
Have you got me, Phil?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We did say it might be tricky. Oh.
Yeah. Hello. I've got you.
Positive.
Have you got me?
Oh, yeah. I've got you. I've got you. I've got you. Have you got me?
Yep. We're not doing too good, are we?
Ah! Are you back?
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Let's go for it quickly.
All right.
At school, were you the goody two-shoes, the class clown, a bit of a handful, or were you under the radar?
A bit of a handful.
A bit of a handful. Oh, look, we've got somebody. Look, we've got somebody called Oprah who's sending positive vibes to us too. Thank you, Oprah. That's really kind of you. Thanks very much. Okay. Now, what's your best habit, Phil?
My best habit. That's a. I like to get things done.
Okay, you're a doer. And what's your worst habit?
I like to procrastinate. They contradict each other, but
that's the yin and yang.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, that's quite familiar. Actually, if you listen to some of the other shows, I've had that response before. And what do you do to relax?
I like to play golf.
Oh, okay. Are you good at it?
Not too bad. I'm an 18 handicap.
Oh, okay. That's okay, actually, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah,
much about golf,
not too bad. Yeah.
It's not shameful. And do you have any nicknames, or have you ever had any nicknames?
Yeah, my nickname in football was Brits, which is just a shortened version of Britain. I actually had my number plates written as Brits, but sometimes I get thought that I'm Brittany.
So that again, you had your number plate?
Yeah, I had personalised number plates as Brits, but sometimes people think it's Britney Spears. So.
Oh, I'm glad I asked you that question again. That's hilarious. Okay, now you might not know this, but my background is as a singer. That's my first love. I went to university and studied singing, and I've sung for the longest time. Cool. So if I'm on stage and I get you up on stage with me, what would be your karaoke song?
Oh, that's easy. Mustang Sally.
Mustang Sally. Okay, that's cool. I think we can have a go at that one.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of the quick fire round. Now, I have another bit of a scenario for you. I've been together for 35 years. And a couple of years ago, we went to America. We went to a wedding in Yellowstone Park, and somebody actually built a holiday for us around it. For the whole time, we did it in America. 100 miles, and we were Harley Davidson into the Utah desert.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I've got you.
Okay, so where did we get to?
Where did you hear up to? The Harley Davidson.
Oh, you got to the Harley Davidson. Okay, perfect. Yep. So if I was to organise a night that you could spend a whole month with without having a crossword.
I didn't get the question.
So the whole time we were away, we didn't have a crossword between us. So I'd like to know who you'd take on holiday that you could spend a month with without having a crossword.
Oh, a whole month without a crossword.
Yeah.
Would I be bad at saying my wife?
No, I think she'd be quite pleased.
I'm pretty sure. Look, it definitely would have to be my wife.
Good. I'm very pleased about that. We'll just leave that there. Some people don't choose their partners. Okay. Now, I've mentioned to you that we're going to create a book out of these interviews. So it's probably going to be in the region of about 45, maybe 50 interviews by the end of it. But at the same time, because of my passion for music, I'm also going to create a playlist.
Cool.
So I'm asking each of my guests to choose one song to put on my playlist, and that song has to be one that makes you feel light-hearted.
Good question. What am I listening to right now? It would have to be one of Ed Sheeran's songs, and I'll have to think of the name. I actually don't know. What is it? I don't even. I don't know
the latest
name.
one. Is it the latest?
Yeah, it's off the
latest
latest album.
One?
Yeah, you know the one where he's talking about he's in the castle on the hill. I think that's what it's called, the castle on the hill or something.
Castle on the Hill. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can find it. That's fine.
Yeah.
We can find it. Like Ed Sheeran. I haven't got any Ed Sheeran yet on my playlist, so that's cool actually.
Awesome.
It's, one of my daughters is passionate about going to a festival here, and awesome. He was on as the big act at Glastonbury this year. Never been a particular fan, but I just thought what he did live was just phenomenal. I was really, really impressed. Okay, so he goes on my playlist now. So although my initial passion is music, what I do now is I'm a health and specifically a functional nutritionist. I'm all about health and specifically about heart. Heart disease still kills 1 in 2.4 of us worldwide, despite all of the interventions and medical advances that we've got in the world. And I'm a great believer in prevention and changing some habits and adopting new habits that keep us all safe. And I wrote a book last year called The Heart of a Woman, How to Look After the Heart You Give to the World. From two aspects. One is not only the physical heart, but also how a woman, and we talked briefly about your wife, didn't we, about, spending time with the children and getting that work-life balance. I think particularly for women, in my opinion, is now quite tricky to be able to achieve in some senses. So my last question for you is, what do you do to look after your heart? So the physical heart. So what do you do to keep yourself fit and healthy? But also, what do you do in terms of emotionally and spiritually to keep yourself safe and healthy from that sense too?
I guess my martial arts training covers most of that, meaning I'm always training in martial arts. I train the elite special forces here in Australia. Part of martial arts is the mind, body and soul. So I do take time out to meditate and just focus on my breathing and be at one, I guess, with myself. But I also do a little bit of meditation at home early in the mornings. And as far as sort of, what I eat and stuff like that, I just try and just everything in moderation. I'm not a fanatic at anything. I just like to work out. I like to fuel my mind and fuel my body.
Cool. And I think that's really lovely. I think some people, when they look at sports people or health coaches, is sometimes it can be very much of the belief, as you say, everything in moderation, 80-20 rule, listen to your body. And if you're moving around a lot, then actually that's great news, because you can afford to eat some stuff that you wouldn't be if you were just sitting on a couch. Okay, brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing little snapshots of your life. What I want to do now is to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit more about your business, and specifically maybe a little bit more detail about what's coming up for you in the next few months. I'm going to put your website up whilst you're talking so that people can go on and learn a little bit about you and read more about you. But they can also follow you on Facebook as well, if they just type in Phil Britten too.
Yep.
And really giving us an insight into what's happening for you. It's winter at the moment, presumably, where you are, is it?
We're just coming out of winter now. It's coming into spring, so we're shaping up.
So in terms
life's
of
going
business, you know, what's going to
yeah.
happen in terms of business over the next
Cool.
sort of 6 months?
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I've got 7 businesses, so most of them are running relatively on autopilot. They do need a little bit of help, but my main focus is business growth mastery, which is my events and training business. And coming towards the end of this year, I'm really solidifying some of the teachings and lessons and accessibility people can get access to my courses and programs. But I've got 4 gigs in Vietnam that I'm speaking in. I'm speaking at the back end of a Tony Robbins event coming up here in a month's time, so that's really cool. I'm really just trying to get my message out there as much as I can and get some exposure. And then through that, I get the opportunity to train and help as many people as I can as well. So, yeah, by all means, if people want to reach out and either have a question or see what I'm doing or how I can help them, reach out to us on my website, philbritten.com, which you put up there. Or by all means,
I haven't actually. It won't do it. It won't do it for some bizarre reason. It mostly does it, but it doesn't. But it's easy,
okay.
as you say. Phil Britten. It's philbritten.com.
philbritten.com. Yep.
So it's really
and
easy
same
to
with the
find
Facebook as well. So I'm around.
Yeah, cool. So exciting. We're going to be launching the book in November at our Make the New Stardust Awards event. So if you do happen to be over in the UK, then we'd love you to come and be part of that. Cool. It goes on tour. We'll let you know where it is, because I know that you travel globally.
Yeah.
So if you happen to be around, then you can be part of that tour that's happening next year as well.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed your light-hearted conversation.
Thank you very much for having me, and absolute pleasure to share to your audience.
Yeah, thank you. I've really enjoyed talking to you. And we're going to keep in touch, and I'll see you real soon. And hopefully one day I might even come to Australia. Happy days.
You can. We'll be here.
So say goodbye to everybody.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Bye. Thanks.